Ba 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 ba. Right. Right. So there we go. While I'm waiting, stick some of this on. Aha, there's one person. Right. I'm just going to wait for a few more to come in. So I've got a few things to say. I got a few messages earlier. And one of the messages is what I'm going to reply to. Ba, 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 ba. Just putting some lotion. There we go. Oh. Ba, ba, ba. There we go. Yeah, as I was mentioning in my video earlier today, I was on about people coming on board and sharing the burden. And I can't remember who has said what, but just wait for a few more to come in. Now, here's the thing, right? I had a message earlier. The message was from Superbase, who is Superbase is connected to Bolt, and it is also connected to Lovable as well. Now, Bolt had 6 apps, doesn't anymore, because www.seekingyou is not online. It's been pulled, so you won't find it. Aha, we got 12 people here. Well done, everybody. So, right, let's get that pulled down. So, been putting some ibuprofen gel on left knee because it is going absolutely crackers. Okay, now let's address something, okay? And it is this. Somebody turned around and says today in my comments, what do I bring to the table? Yeah. So let's talk about that. Yeah. What do I bring to the table? Well, it's as simple as this. Normally, I'd write stuff down on an A4 pad, a notepad. Yeah. Those notepads are bought from Morrison's. Morrison's is at Gamston. Now, 1 second. So, over many years, I've wrote ideas down on a notepad, and if the idea is very important, it gets boxed and it has not hashtags, I think it's an asterisk, and the more asterisks I put on that page where the box is, the more important it is. But since you all said in my comments about artificial intelligence, I switched over, right? Now, what we got here? Neon Doom. Okay. Right. Thank you for the 2 likes. Now, as I'm going back to this, which I wrote down earlier from comments, what do I bring to the table? Well, here it is in a nutshell. I found out earlier, what was it? 5 or 6 weeks ago, about artificial intelligence. Yeah. So I looked at videos connected to artificial intelligence and I decided to pick a few. The ones I decided to pick were Copilot, which is on Microsoft Edge. It has a short-term memory. It's like the fish, the big white fish out of Finding Nemo, where a couple of seconds later, its memory's gone. That wasn't very good. So I came across another one, which was Claude Sonnet. I believe it's Claude Sonnet 3.5, I believe. And it did a lot of code. It did a roadmap. However, can't find it. So came across another one that was Bolt.new, where 6 apps were created. The first app was very complex, and because it was complex, there were issues. And what I found out was this from Christian of We Are No Code. These app creators, Bolt, Claude, etc., they do the front end and Supabase does the back end. This is what I've found out by studying other content creators. Now, with Seeking You, in the first instance, it took it as a dating app. It was not a dating app. But it took it as that, and it wouldn't change. No matter what I tried, it wouldn't change. Eventually did get it to change, but the one issue, you couldn't sign into it and I couldn't sign into it. So if I can't sign into it and you can't sign into it, it's about as much use as a chocolate fire god. Would you agree? So, moving on. Yeah. What do I bring to the table? Which is 2 questions were asked today. I have the idea, and I have said that idea to artificial intelligence. It does the code. I then save the code, download it, and I put a segment into my GitHub. Here's the problem. I had done that and went to sign up to create the first account. Error. Not once, not twice, multiple. And this carried on time after time. Now, a lot of people have said AI is not perfect. I know. Yeah, I know. But there are certain ones, if you don't give it such a complex idea, it will work. Now, the The ones which are on GitHub right now, they are set to private. Now, when I was on about what do I bring to the table? Yeah, the code. The code started here. And that's the truth. It started here. I told Bolt what to write. I also told Lovable exactly what I had said to Bolt. Precisely. So that's what I bring to the table. And the second thing was about people don't want to carry me. Who is going to carry me? Nobody. Why? Because you're not walking into a situation. There is something in GitHub. I showed you something in the video on each different occasion. That was not a computer generated image that you saw. It was me pointing my camera straight at the laptop computer and showing you what is on the screen. And I showed you that after it has been saved. So, as somebody said quite earlier in chat also, anybody could do this. Not necessarily true. And there's a reason behind that. And the reason behind that is following. When a person says something online, there's a timestamp. And the timestamp relates to what you've done, how long it's took to do it from point A to point B. And how that's worked out is when you've logged in to, whether it's Claude Sonnet 3.5, whether it's Bolt.new, or whether it's Lovable.dev, there is a timestamp online that tells your Internet Explorer exactly what time you went in, what time you came out. And that is your safety net. So let's have a look and see what we got in chat. We got 17 people here, and we've only got 3 likes. Right. Where are the 2 clothes shops? As far as I'm aware, there's only one. And that is about to close its doors. Do you know why? Do you know why it's going to close its doors? Where are your... You know, you have no idea about time, do you? You haven't got a Scooby-Doo. But couldn't expect anything more. Now, at the end of the month, there's another bank holiday. And at the end of the month, I'm hoping for good, positive news. And that is to do with the Waves exchange. Going to purchase from Coinbase, transfer it over to Waves, and exchange the Ethereum for waves. And if that's successful, then I will ask the community to vote. And the first one they're going to vote on is 32K TV Inc. And if I'm lucky and the community votes yes, that is the first one that will go onto the exchange. And if I can't set the price, it goes at whatever the price is. But it will be only available on the Waves Exchange. And that would be right at the end of the month. So that is positive. And after I've done that one, if there's enough left in the Waves account, Dual Energy is done next. And that is Dual Energy Farm. So there's two things. And because I've just done an email to Superbase, one's coming down and the new one is going up. And that way, with the new one, that's a brand new version of Seeking You. So good things are coming. Now, those people who were on about the games, yeah, Streets of Home, the buggy game. I think it was B Viking who just said in comments earlier, windsurfing around Benwell. Last time I checked, Benwell's on a hill. The top bit going up to the West Road, that's definitely a hill. And from the main road that goes through Benwell down over, that's a big steep downhill bit. And that's why it made me laugh when he was on about windsurfing. The windsurfing will be in UBBC. And here's what that means. United Boat Builders Cup. That's simple. I just shortened it to UBBC. So, what we got in chat? What we got? When are you? Yeah, you know what it is. Do you know anything about game development? Absolute nil. I never thought about that, in truth and honesty. And before 2025, and you can check this and verify it, on my channel that you're on now, there was no games. There were no apps. Just me, Newcastle United, music, and a couple of other things. I know a lot more than you do, MK. Oh, hey. Get yourself away, Bonnie lad. Off you going, Bonnie lad. Go on. From this moment onwards, that person in chat, you are basically, you don't exist. because I'm tired of your crap. So what's this one saying? Did you challenge? That is on the way. I have an expert who is looking into that, and I'm going to find out probably by the end of this month. And because what he was saying to us was the mandatory reconsideration, it has a time limit. So yes, that is being fixed. I would like to know why you focus on so many apps. Here's a thing for you. When I'm writing a song, I write a song, I play the guitar. See that there? That's not CGI. That's an actual acoustic guitar. The electric Black Beauty, that has an issue. Bottom string snapped. Right, what's it? I can't pronounce your name, so I'm going to attempt it. Carvo. If I've butchered your surname, much apologies. You need to set these things up. Yeah, once they are up and running. Yeah, that is true, and that's in the process of doing that. I've just got to sort the stuff out so that people can go in, explore, etc. on Seeking You and Geordie Nation, and then eventually, within a time frame, I will contact Company's House. Yes. Right. So, what else we got? Don't break my heart. Oh, my. You know, the thing is, life is not perfect, mate. Some people find that perfect person in there with them for the rest of their life. And guess what? Some people don't. So, I'll get the violin in a minute. So, what we got here? We've got 15 here. You showed your mum my videos? Okay. Hiya, Viv. What is your game development company called? There isn't one. What I'm waiting to do is testing and getting things in order. And if things work, I'll give them a name, a company name, if they work. I mean, the simplest one is UBBC. That's the simplest one. So, yeah. But the others, good question. Unless I went for streetsofhome.com. Don't know. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Okay. what's the usual like? You know, it makes me laugh, right, when I see the comments. You know, if like most people know here on my channel, I paid for a course and I was going through the first block, and then all of a sudden I'm meant to be an expert. Who goes to bed and wakes up a genius? Come on, who is it? Who does that? Huh? You've got to study hard. And what happened, and I've said this on more videos than I can think of, you keep turning around and saying to people, yeah, you keep turning around and saying in the comments, you're not listening, you're not listening, you're not listening. And you were the people who mentioned artificial intelligence. And I'm not listening. That's about as backward as you can get. Because if you mention AI can overtake me and write something faster, and I take that advantage that you've given me, which I thanked you all for yesterday, because wow, that was a gift and a half. And now it's what? What you can't have. This is impossible. What you can't have. Yeah. You can't buy a beautiful chocolate cake with about 6 different layers of sponge and cream. You can't have that, have a slice, and have the whole thing again. It's impossible. And this is my point. You see, when you put the thought into my head about artificial intelligence, I didn't jump straight to it. I kept on doing. I think I did another three parts of HTML5, and then I thought, I'm struggling here. Let's have a look at YouTube and see what YouTube says about AI. And one of the YouTube channels, a guy called Christian, he said, this is what you can do. And I watched 7 videos by this same person. But I didn't just watch him, I watched several other people who live over the other side of the pond. And they are all saying the same thing. Now, if there's a lot of people saying the same thing, it has to be right. Anyway, what we got here? What we got? Ramble, ramble, ramble. Ba 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 ba. You just make me laugh, you do. You really do. Yeah, aye, everybody is. Uh-huh. Mm. So, as we move forward, yeah, we are in the last throws at the minute with the football. We've got 3 games to go. And I said my piece on that yesterday. So I'm not going to speak about it today. But here's the thing. I've messaged the people for Seeking You to say it's scrubbed. And I'm going to start again. And the one thing I did want was the cost. There's a cost to building the app. There's a cost to the domain. And as I mentioned last week, zero help from Job Center. They don't want to know. Yeah. So that's where we are right at this moment in time. There are 6 costs, and talking, I think, in total for 6, 220 quid. So if nobody is willing to help, what happens is they get 1 to 2 at a time. That means Seeking You, Geordie Nation are the first 2 out of the door. And the games, when I can get them. Right, what we got? Lee. There's a lesson to be learned from all of us. AI is no match for human knowledge. Well, no, Lee. No. I'll tell you why. There's people in chat, and those people are highly skilled, studying years and years and years. They can code without even looking. However, I was still on the baby steps. So for me, it was like climbing Mount Everest with no safety equipment. And that's suicide. And when people in my chat turned round and said to go down the route of AI, it wasn't straight away. No. I stopped and was looking at what other people were doing. You know, thank you very much, Raw Dog. Thank you. But one thing I want to say to you is all this. These apps which have been created, it's not for my benefit. I don't live in Newcastle upon Tyne. I live in East Midlands. So the benefit is for the people of Newcastle upon Tyne. Because if you look at the games, Street to Home, yeah, you have to build a buggy and you have to choose the correct materials to build. Because you crash halfway down. Let's say you crash halfway down Westgate Hill. You're not going to get to the finish line. And everybody else is, you're just not going to get there, which means you're not going to get any points. So it's choosing the right stuff to get there. And I remember, who was it? Benny was on about, have I marketed the game? No, I didn't even consider. Why? Why didn't I consider it? Because I'm thinking and focusing on one thing, which is getting it over the line. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to, use artificial intelligence to get together a site that would show you images, a storyline, a map of where you're going to be racing, in the hope that when the demo came out, the demo ran smooth, fluid, and you can't put it down. So you got to keep on coming back. Yes, I've got the Unity engine. Yes, I have it on the laptop. I also have something called Blender as well, and there's another one I was looking at, AR Spark. Now, with the Blender one, I have looked at doing something which seemed simple, but I'd have to go back through that same video, which was 3 hours long, and adapt the how you create and stuff like that. Well, not really. I mean, like I said to somebody today, ages ago, I got what I thought was going to be a tool, which was Quest 2. And that let me down badly. No, not at the moment. I don't know. It's just what you call it. I was looking at, I spent about a month looking at videos to do with Blender. I've also looked at videos to do with Unity as well. And Unity has NPM attached to it. So, as I say, with I've got them. They're on the laptop. It's just like I was mentioning before. There are people, no doubt, in chat who have expert knowledge. I mean, they can do stuff in their sleep. I was still on the baby steps. And because of that, because I was still on the baby steps, it was like, well, why is all these people mentioning AI? Why? And that's why I started to look at it. And it wasn't one video. There was maybe 20 or 30 videos from different people who were building, wow, amazing stuff. It's just things like learning front end, back end with the API in the middle. It blew me brain. Can I do? No. So, the hope is, as we progress to the second and the third week of May, two things will happen. Seeking You, Geordie Nation, and then, depending how many people come forward to aid with development of Streets of Home. I think Streets of Home is going to be the simplest, because it's just you and a buggy flying down the street, and you're just rendering the streets, the speed, the conditions, whereas the other ones are a bit more complex. And that's where I want to be. So yeah, you're a game developer, Connor. That's good to hear, Connor. Good to hear. Yeah, very good. Well, I never even looked at doing that. To me, my channel was about Newcastle United, the music I play, the songs I've written, and a couple of other things. Designing a game, designing an app. Didn't even enter me head. Website, yeah, I mean, that was what Web Development 3 was about. But not designing new forms of social media, etc. No, that was like the other side of the known galaxy. But the one thing I will say is this. I think it would be fun once Streets of Home is developed, as you come and whizzing down Barrack Road, and someone's trying to cut you off on the inside to get down through the Gallowgate. Yeah, I think that's going to be interesting. So, and instead of going straight down through Blackett Street, you take a right-hand turn and you go down Newgate Street, and you fly down the market. But there's a whole host of different things. And what I tried to do with Streets of Home was keep it as simple as possible. No. Never been on that show. Never. No. Chipaz, how can I stop the war? How can I stop the war? Honestly, come on. Let's be honest here. I'm just a Geordie lad, man. Hello, Toonami. Right. Bitcoin and your game. Well, I believe in Bitcoin. Yeah. I used to mine it. Yeah. Hiya, Harrison. Chip as Paul needed to arrange a meet. I don't think there would ever be a meet with Mr. Trump. Besides, anyway, he's too old. Your game gonna stop the war? Nah. The idiot who lives in Russia, there's no stopping him, man. Man's an idiot. No, I haven't done any more NFTs. The NFTs are on the back burner. That's just they're in a file waiting. Fireburn, long live. Yeah. Long live him, yeah. I mean, this is the guy that could eventually just press that big red button and you know, end all life on Earth. But you're right. At the end of the day, Fireburn, you're right. Until you're wrong, until the missiles start flying. But never mind. So the hope is I can get the assistance to do with the games. As Connor just said there, he thinks it's feasible. So we shall see. And to all the rest of you, much appreciated for you coming in. And I really wanted the first app to have been live. However, sometimes in life, you just don't get that. So, but I did try. I mean, with Seeking You, that's gone across to another AI, and that other AI didn't have any problems, which means there could be a bug with Bolt, but we shall see. Anyway, thank you all for coming in. The hope is between now and the end of this month, you've got something to look at in Seeking You and Geordie Nation. That's my hope. Thanks for being here.